not quite back in Texas yet. Maybe a couple of weeks, and the world is shocked in a Randy Rhoads kind of a way that Cliff Burton has passed away.
Yeah. I had just seen him a couple of months before, I think, when Master Puppets came and played the Majestic Theater.
I was at that.
Amazing show. And I was on the Cliff Burton side.
The gods opened.
That's right. I was going to say that earlier when you talked about them. The gods of rock and roll. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That shook everybody up.
Well, and Ron
Quintana.
Ron Jarzombek.
Oh, Ron Jarzombek.
Had just started to come around, and our first show with him was in January of '87 at the Ritz in Austin. I called the Metallica house. I got a number for... This would have been... No. Cliff had just died a month prior. Sorry, I got my months wrong. I'm in California in '86. Cliff had just died. Literally 3 weeks prior to me being in California. During my time out, I think from a payphone, maybe from Gene's house, I'm networking. I'm calling the Metallica house. I get Kirk Hammett's number. You know what I'm doing? Do you know where I'm going with this? Mm-mm. I'm trying to get Doug Keyser from Watchtower an audition for Metallica.
Oh, okay.
I succeeded. So I'm calling Doug from Gene's house. I'm calling Metallica house. I get Kirk on the phone. Of course he's broken up. You know, everyone's talking kind of slow. And everyone's kind of crawling, right? So Kirk gives me the deets on what to do, and I get Doug a spot. His name is written down somewhere on a list. Mm-hmm. I call Doug. I tell Doug what, where, how. Here's who you call. And Doug flies out to California and auditions for fucking Metallica. Mm-hmm. So that's probably early '87. And at some point I don't think it was like still 1986 and those guys are on tour with Jason Newsted.
Right.
It's '87. Still a very short time. A few months later, they've got Jason Newsted in the band.
They went to Japan.
I'm back in L.A. I'm going to see Megadeth and Flotsam and Jetsam in Reseda at the Country Club, which is an awesome venue. And I'm already pen pals with Newsted. And this is just a few months later. And I'm like, Jason, what's up, dude? And we're meeting for the first time face to face, and he's kind of busy because he's about to go on, and I had just gotten there right after doors, and we can't really hang out. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, dude, what's up? And he's running around. He's like, oh, man, awesome to meet you. I'm kind of about to do a gig, you know? And I'm like, dude, da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, dude, did you know about Doug? I got Doug Keyser, an audition for Metallica. I'm all proud, you know. I want my bro, you know. I mean, I'm sad. I'm torn apart, but I want to help. Jason's like, yes, and he's in the top 5 along with someone else you know. That's what I get from Jason. I'm like, yes, that's fucking, we're cooking with gas now. This is good. Yeah. This is great. That family, they're getting someone from the family.
Right.
And next thing you know, I hear that Jason gets a gig.
Got the gig, yeah.
But I think Doug, when you ask Doug about it, he's like, I wasn't metal enough. You know, I wore my Iron Maiden shirt, but I wear my bass real high.
Yeah.
You know, and I play the Rickenbacker, and I play with my fingers, and they love that. My speed and crazy style, they love that. But it's like, I could be in Primus.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, and he tried out
That too.
less. Tried
Claypool.
out years later.
Yeah, yeah.
After
second
Jason
go-
quit.
Yeah,
And it's probably the same reason.
Told her the
It's
same
just
thing.
It's the same kind of thing. He's like, you're in the wrong aisle. You know what I mean? You're either, are you too good? No, it's not necessarily too good. Stylistically, not really right.
Right.
Okay.
Wasn't it around that time too that you were asked to audition for Pantera?
Yes. And I'm glad that, thank you for putting it the way that you put it. Asked to be in Pantera is not what happened.
Right.
Their dad called me, Mr. Abbott, as I call him. Called to ask me about it. And I was like, wow, that's super nice to be asked. But I'm trying to keep Watchtower going right now.
Right.
And I don't know. I'm so uncertain. Too many things going on in the fucking world of heavy metal right now.
Right.
I kind of thank you, but no thanks. A week later, Vin calls me. Benny Paul. Same thing. Dude, thank you so much. That's awesome. You know, of course I had heard of Pantera. Of course, you know, I know them from the club circuit, being a cover band, and then having some rock and roll records out on their own label, and like legit. They're doing it exactly the way we're doing it. Their music's not as extreme as Watchtower. I was into thrash metal and, you know, of course I was into classic rock and shit too, of course.
That was still in their power metal era.
Prior to power metal.
Yeah.
It was magic metal, Projects in the Jungle, and one more. I Am the Night. Power Metal's with Philip is the fourth record. The first three records had Terry Glaze.
Yeah.
Who ended up being in Lord Tracy. Okay. We're doing good.
So, we're in 1987, and Ron Jarzombek.
Dark Angel. I was thick as thieves with Gene after I slept on his couch for a week. There was talk about me. This is before they had Ron Reinhardt. Don Doty was no longer in Dark Angel. There was talk about me maybe moving to California and working with Dark Angel. But it was talk. It was no legitimate. Like Gene brought it up and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Whoa. And I think that I got hit with that from Gene prior to me getting the call from Mr. Abbott.
Right.
But I turned them both down. And it was a few years later I turned down another audition. Do you have that in your notes?
The Skid Row?
Yeah. Offers to audition is what these are.
Right.
Not offers to be in the band. Let me make that very, very clear.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we leave that topic, you regret not auditioning for any of those bands? In hindsight?
When I think about the Dark Angel thing, that could have been really fucking cool.
I think so too.
And I think that much like what has happened on the decisions I made, good or bad, I think if I would have done that, surely all of the other spawn of great things that I've been able to do by not doing that, if I would have done that, the same thing could have happened on another
level,
just on another coast. You see what I mean? Because of what the theme here is, this is all close knit. This is a family. This is a thing. The impact is a word you use. I've heard Gene use that too. The impact that either I or you or anyone has had upon your legacy is going to keep happening with the decisions that you've made and the things that you want so bad you will cut down a forest to get to it. Or Here's the other side of the same coin. It fall in your fucking lap. Watchtower thing fell in my fucking lap. Ironically, Dangerous Toys thing fell in my fucking lap. So much to where I had to make a decision. Mike Solis, Lee Fallen Angel, be in this Watchtower. Watchtower guys, leave you guys to be in this. You know what I mean?
I agree. We follow different paths.
Can't move a mountain without breaking rocks.
Great analogy. So you
regret? I can't use the word regret. Would it have been fucking awesome regardless? Fuck yes. Changing the course of history.
That's the regret.
When you think about that, changing the fucking course of history.
You would have never been in Dangerous Toys.
Right.
You would have. Dark Angel probably would have released a lot of great records with you. I could see your voice fitting in perfect with them.
They could, with the style that Don Doty had, it would have worked timeline wise. Ron's more hardcore. Ron's like Ron Reinhardt.
Yeah.
He's like a hardcore singer.
Yeah.
Never to rise again.
Well,
he was like Dio meets like Philip Anselmo or something. He was like Anselmo with a heavier vibrato.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, as I sit here...
That's pre-Cowboys, too.
We're saying these things, but and then you think about... And we'll segue. We're getting close to the segue to Dangerous Toys.
Yeah.
All the great things that happened with Dangerous Toys. And we're going to get into that in a bit, the gold record and everything. I mean, that would have never happened. And that to me, a lot of people that have been messaging me these last couple of weeks have been like, oh, they always are posting pictures or videos about when you were in Dangerous Toys and that first initial record, which that record to me is fucking also just timeless. Every fucking song on that record.
It's a good rock and roll record.
Ugh.
I'm not.
I wouldn't say.
I'm doing
great.
this like I'm shrugging it off, but it's a good rock and roll record.
I would use it.
There's all kinds of reviews and things that even the dudes in the band, myself included, could say about that record.
We're gonna get into it.
Okay.
So let's first. So Jarzombek came around.
Yes.
Why?
Literally.
Why did he decide to come around?
I think he was just trying to not make a hasty decision, and it just took him a little while, 6 weeks or a couple months, to figure out that he wanted to do it.
Were the guys in...
We only rehearsed like 2 or 3 times and then did a gig with him. That's how badass he is. Yeah.
Really, there was nobody else that could have really pulled it off.
Close by, that where you can literally just call up one of your buddies and go, hey, you want this gig?
Yeah.
As opposed to headhunt or audition. We didn't really audition anyone.
Right. At that point,
you don't audition Ron Jarzombek. You just go, do you want the gig?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At that point, Slayer was already over?
Yeah.
Okay, so there was no...
They had been over for a little
while. Okay.
Yeah, because that Slayer show at Via Fontana would have been November 84. Oh, that's quite a bit. That's years. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, talk to me about Instruments of Random Murder, because I don't think a lot of people know about that.
So you're talking Billy White. So we're in 86, we're in 85 even, just because we're about to put out our first record, Energetic, doesn't mean we don't have songs already written for that we were already playing live. Control and Resistance, The Fall of Reason, The Eldritch, Instruments of Random Murder, all of these incredible prog metal tunes, Watchtower tunes, that are just like demos and live shows. that are going to eventually be
Be on the
what
next
people
record.
fucking know and are mirrored when they think about Watchtower. They think, oh my God, Instruments of Random Murder. Oh my God, it's fucking heavy as shit. What they know is the version that came out of Control in 1990 and not the demos with McMaster singing.
Right.
So when Ron joined, we recorded demos of instruments, the Eldritch, and some 4-track songs, which I can't remember what they were. Fall of Reason
Is that
and Hidden Instincts. There you go. Yeah. All right, champion.
is that
Still got a
demo
brain.
out on
Oh
the
yeah.
internet somewhere?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh
I
yeah.
gotta check it out.
Oh yeah.
I haven't checked it out.
Yeah. Shit, there's fucking 1984 Watchtower rehearsals from Billy White's bedroom on fucking YouTube right now. It's crazy, dude.
I need to look for that stuff.
There's fan sites.
I
It's
gotta
fucking
dig it up.
stupid. So yeah, Instruments of Random Murder was lyrics written by Billy, I think. It's Billy and Doug wrote everything.
Yeah.
It's about, and you guys may be a little young for this, but it's about when some crazy person was popping the plastic cap off of Tylenol bottles and injecting cyanide
Yeah, I remember that.
into the capsules
Yeah.
through the foil top or the scrape. You got to peel off the seal, the factory seal. They were injecting cyanide into the capsules, and people were going, "Oh, I've got a headache," and they take one and they die.
Dead, yeah.
And that was happening quite a bit. And
Crazy.
you can look up old news footage of major news networks reporting on that shit, showing how they're pulling Tylenol and other NSAIDs off of the fucking shelf.
Yep.
So Billy Wright, that's a perfect topic for Watchtower. We wrote about that kind of shit, social awareness, current event, and lyrics are heavy as shit. It's fucking heavy.
So that demo kind of became Control and Resistance for the band.
Yep. Yeah. And that was Billy White era. Now, the songs that were on that demo, Billy White only wrote with Rick and Doug those two songs. Fall of Reason and Instruments.
And
But
Ronnie
he-
did the other two.
Yeah. But there were these other songs, Control and Resistance, which was the title track of the second record, and more, I won't go into it, that he wrote those fucking songs. Over half of the record of Control and Resistance is Billy White, Jason and Billy era Watchtower music.
Wow.
When they released their record in 1990, and I'm a rock star. I'm touring. I'm on tour with my fucking idols. With the Toys.
And
And Europe, well, that was 91, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Europe is freaking out because there's this new band called Watchtower with all of these songs on there, and the only butthurt I'm getting is reading the reviews going, oh my God, this is the greatest fucking thing. That no mention of Energetic, no mention of McMaster, no mention of Billy White.
Yep.
Mic drop, walk out the room, right? That part itched a little bit.
Yeah.
The thing is,
Well,
while I'm on tour, 89, 90, the Toys are blowing up. In most photo shoots, I'm wearing a Watchtower shirt.
yeah. Yeah. Now that I know that about who wrote Control and Resistance, I can understand why you may feel that way. But it's
That's all right.
it's the media.
That's a Dave
It's
Mustaine.
the label.
That's a Dave Mustaine. Metallica.
Oh, yeah.
Metallica.
Oh, yeah.
Metallica. Hey, I wrote those fucking songs.
Ride the light, Call of Cthulhu, everything. Yeah. It's a business, man.
Me and Cliff wrote those fucking songs. What? Hey, wait a minute.
Yep.
That kind of thing.
Yep.
Who's that up there?
It's Kirk Hammett.
It is Kirk, isn't it?
Yeah.
that a, what's he playing? Les Paul?
No, that's
ESP?
That's an ESP. That's his signature.
It looks like a Les Paul. I'm blind.
Yeah, that's his signature.
Yeah.
It's an ESP, but it's a Les Paul style.
Okay.
So in 1987, you started singing for a band called Onyx, which developed into Dangerous Toys. Is that correct?
Yeah, never went under the name Onyx with me on the microphone.
But it was those dudes.
Yeah, they had a female singer. She called herself Onyx, and they were this really good sort of like circuit band. They would tour up to Nashville and come back through Texas, playing covers, handful of originals, kind of following the trend of like the new sort of MTV glam rock thing. They covered Poison, and Guns N' Roses, when you think about that, came out a little bit later, and they weren't quite covering the GNR songs or the LA Guns or the Faster Pussycats, but they did with me. Does that make sense? So they were doing more classic rock mixed with, I don't know, White Lion, something a little bit, Dokken. They did Dokken. And Rat, they were doing that. Poison, right? Earlier Sunset Strip, Southern California. I hate the term hair band. Me and Dee Snider hate the term hair metal or hair band, because hair ain't got nothing to do with rock and roll. You can ask a lot of people who don't have hair who are in a hair metal band that it don't have anything to do with hair. So my point, I hear about these guys. I see them play a couple times and had met the dudes in the band. And I'd even met her. Her name was Terry. A couple times, Onyx. And I'm working at a pizza restaurant called, ironically, Pantera's Pizza. And it was because the guy had one of those cool cars, a Pantera. Yeah. And I think I remember it being like burnt orange. I think his name was Sam. And there was two locations. There was a South Austin and a North Austin. And I lived in North Austin. I worked at Pantera's Pizza. These guys came in. Tim Trembley came in. He was one of the guitar players, and then Mike Watson came in at a different time. But Tim came in and asked me. He may have had Scott with him.
Yep.
And I'm, hi, welcome to Pantera's. Can I take your order, please? You know, and they're going, fuck that, dude. We want to talk to you about rock and roll. Oh, yeah, cool. Oh, yeah, I remember you. Hey, what's up? We're losing our singer for whatever reason. You mind doing some gigs with us for fun? Yeah, just till we find a more permanent. And I'm like, oh, that sounds kind of fun. Cool. Long story short, right? So I start working with them. Covers, not really thinking about writing original materials, and we're rehearsing in Mark's kitchen in South Austin. He kind of had like a dining room area that had like a nook where he had his drum kit that faced out a loft kind of thing out of the living room, which is only 2 steps down. Mm-hmm. Marshall stacks. You got the TV in the middle and the Marshalls and bass amp. And I'm in the hallway. Behind me is the front door, like the foyer to the house. I'm standing in the foyer, and that's where I would pull a monitor and we'd rehearse it. We rehearsed there for, a good few months, because it really happened fast. Wow. The shit that happened to us happened really fast. I'm still in Watchtower. This is October of 87. Ronnie had replaced Billy only for 9 months, if that? And I had started moonlighting and singing with just some neighborhood kids. Yeah, I'll come by and sing some Whitesnake. Cool, and just play rock and roll with whoever, just, because everyone wanted to be in a band around that time. So I'm playing, backyard parties again, just with, I call them kids, but they were peers. Just for fun. No big deal. No plans to be a rock star or get signed or any of that shit. I'm still in Watchtower, you know. Energetic, still pushing energetic, still talking energetic. Ronnie's playing, we're playing energetic song mixed with all of the other shit that was on Control, and playing some of Ronnie's tunes that I was singing, that I demoed, that are also on Control and Resistance with Alan singing. Remember, me and Alan are already friends. Alan's the reason Watchtower took him. I was the liaison to Pen Pal, licking stamps. Me and Alan licking stamps. This is the reason why he took my place. I rolled out the red carpet for Alan to do that. My point. So I'm playing with these guys. We can't use the name Onyx. Phone rings. The back room. Guy books the back room. Says, hey, want you guys to start playing again, man? What the fuck? Because Onyx was like the house band at the fucking back room in 1986 and 87. Like, lived there. Played twice every weekend of shit. Right? Yeah. Played Steamboat. Maybe came, went to maybe Dallas or whatever, And they were living off of that. $100 a man kind of things. In the 80s, you could do that. If you were just a punk-ass guitar player or whatever, Maybe get $10 from grandma on your birthday. I don't know. So, hey, man, it's, Jim Ramsey from Back Room. Hold on, Jim. What are we going to call this band, man? He wants to book us a gig, and I think we're all ready. And me and Scott's tuning, and I'm like, I don't know. It's something like, dangerous boys make loud noise, or bad boys and play with dangerous toys. We're thinking like bumper sticker slogans and just all in like a 3-minute phone convo.
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah, dangerous toys, use that. We can change it later. It's fucking stupid as shit. We'll change it later. He's like, yeah, do we think we want to go with dangerous toys? And he's like, okay, got it. A couple weeks later, we played our first gig at the Back Room. Just played a bunch of cover songs. I think maybe one song that they had written where Mike, bass player, had written the words. I think it was called JD Lady. It's about a lady who drinks JD. It's actually not a terrible rock and roll song.
So the songs for the debut, they weren't written yet? I mean, at that time?
That's a good question. So when you think of maybe it's November of, 4 rehearsals or something, we're already playing gigs. And like I said, maybe one original song and a bunch of covers. Led Zeppelin, Rat. We had learned, it's 87. End of 87, Guns N' Roses, this new band, we're playing Welcome to the Jungle. I think we're playing Jungle. L.A. Guns was out. We were playing Sex Action. Mm-hmm. Faster Pussycat had just come out. And we were playing that song, Babylon. So we were kind of hip to what was just starting to roll up on MTV and on our radar as far as just new hard rock. This is pre-internet. There's no web. There's no phone. There's no website. This is all magazines and phone calls and flyers and shit like that. Okay? I was already into Guns. I had the Live Like a Suicide on Uzi Suicide Records, pre-Lies. Remember when they released Lies and Live Like a Suicide on one record? Yep. This is pre all that. This is like Club Days gig Guns N' Roses. I love that live recording of them because they're raw and pissed off and playing fast. They covered Aerosmith and AC/DC and on that record. Anyway, I was already into that. And then, of course, Appetite came out, and that record was almost out like a year before it broke. And I think it was later that year I saw, or it would have been no, it would have been that same year, like maybe a little bit earlier that year. Yeah, pre-Dangerous Toys. Cameo Theater saw Guns N' Roses at the fucking Cameo Theater.
Wow. That's crazy.
Axl's mic, I have a story about that gig. Axl's mic stand fell over. And the microphone clip that's like a roach clip style?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you squeeze it and you put the mic in.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a ching,
Mm-hmm.
It's like a roach clip. They
Yeah.
suck. I hate that. It's terrible design.
Right.
And he had a wireless, and his wireless wouldn't fit in a clip like that. So they had I need a mic stand, and that shit, they probably thought, oh, here's one that'll work, and they suck. It's got a little spring in it,
Yeah.
and it's weak as fuck. Fell over, clip broke. I think he was holding the mic, but the stand fell over, and the clip broke, had a piece of red duct tape on it, and the broken part of the clip slid over. I still have it.
Wow.
Knocking on Heaven's Door cover. They're covering Knocking on Heaven's Door. If you think back on MTV, they had Live from the Ritz in New York, the old Studio 54.
Yep.
That live concert of Guns N' Roses, it's infamous now.
Yeah, I love it.
And they were just on fire. They
Yeah.
were raw and pissed off and drunk and fucking rah. It was fucking cool, right? Sweaty and fucking, you could tell they didn't have shit.
Yeah.
So that's where everyone saw their live set for the first time. They had heard some songs, and they first hit Guns N' Roses live on MTV.
Yeah, it was on MTV.
Everyone watched it. They did Knocking on Heaven's Door. So here it is live in San Antonio, packed at the Cameo. I'm in the front row.
Wow.
I'm sort of between like a Duff, and so I'm a little bit stage left, which would have been in the audience view, a little bit to the right.
Yeah.
Between Axl and Duff, right? Axl would do this thing where he started on one side of the stage, knocking on heaven's door, and hold the mic down, let the audience member sing, the boo-doo, boo-doo, doo-doo, boo-doo, Axl again. Do it again, and walk a few feet, and do it again. He'd do it like 4 or 5 times, before Slash would do another solo or whatever.
Yeah. He sang one of them.
He hands me the mic.
Nice.
He's like, my head's right here, and he's right here. He's not looking at me. He's like, no. Drops the mic. I grab the motherfucker. I grab the mic.
Yeah.
And I do like it. Just what I do.
Yeah.
And I just went. I showed off. I grabbed my nuts. I punched the air as hard as I could.
Yeah.
He didn't look down. Axl did not look down, but big smile. And I think Duff, big smile, and who the fuck was that? And looks at me and smiles and yeah, dude. And so that's like a little bit of a moment for me.
Yeah, cool.
And Steven Adler, he's not really paying attention, and he's like, "What the fuck was that?" You know what I mean? He reacts. Slash and Izzy, nah. Did you ever see Guns with Izzy in the band?
Yes, I did.
So
day.
that was 87. I remember I had a friend from Austin that I was hanging out with during the day, a little bit earlier before showtime. And my buddy was wearing a vintage Rose Tattoo shirt he saw Rose Tattoo open for Aerosmith in 83 or 84, Done with Mirrors tour or something fucking ancient.
Wow.
He's wearing a Rose Tattoo Scarred for Life shirt. Slash is like, how much money do you want for that shirt right now? And I'm standing right there freaking out because, dude, you're Slash. you're fucking Slash. He's like, yeah, I can't talk to you right now. I'm trying to steal your buddy's rose tattoo shirt. Never forget that moment. Anyway.
He told Slash no?
He told Slash, hell no, man. Shit, no, dude. I bought this merch stand. No, man, fuck no. I bet my buddy Gilbert still has that Scarred for Life shirt.
Wow.
So, where were we?
We were at...
Lots of shit going on.
The Toys,
Yep.
Onyx transforming into the Toys. You guys
We
adopted the name Dangerous Toys.
Start
on
playing
the whim.
gigs. Yeah, start playing gigs around
Badass
Austin.
If songs for the debut had been written.
I think we slowly started writing songs. I'm still in Watchtower.
Right.
We played January 17th at the Ritz in Austin, Watchtower.
Yeah.
We the Toys start playing at whatever clubs that will have us in Austin. Two clubs maybe. Is everything cool? Okay. And Steamboat and the Back Room were the two clubs we were playing periodically. Often, actually. If not every weekend, it was one or the other, right?
Yeah.
So December, January, February, we had come down and played at Rockers. Do you remember Rockers?
I don't
Live
think so.
Oak, 1604.
I think it's called. Is it called the Live Oak Civic Center now?
It's beyond that. You go past down 1604. You go east, and it was down there.
Okay.
Big warehouse type of building. Rockers. I have video of some of those gigs.
Wow.
Yeah, Pariah opened. A couple of those.
Was Jared in Pariah at that time?
This is 1987. He was brand new in Pariah.
Yeah.
Maybe early 88. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Not to go too far off. We are playing a couple of original songs, maybe a couple of them that are on the first record, but Scared, no Scared.
Yeah.
No, maybe Sportin' a Woody, maybe a version of it. Maybe Outlaw, maybe Teasin' Pleasin', that's about it. But there's a bunch of shit that we had written that we were playing amidst, stuck in with between a bunch of cover songs that never made the first record. So March comes around. The first South by Southwest ever would have been in 87, March of 87. So South by Southwest of 88. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So in 88, spring break, give it some timeline, right around my birthday. There's this thing called South by Southwest that there had only been one the year prior.
Right.
That we, as a rock band in Austin, Texas, had never heard of. Well, originally South by Southwest, because it's a fucking giant worldwide trade show now, 30 years later or whatever. So back then, it was a 1 weekend, 2-day or 3-day event that really, where Austin would host music publishers, music managers, music-related record label executives. Were red carpets rolled out at the airport for all of the major labels, all of the management companies, and anyone who had a business card was welcome and could pay a minimal fee and have a badge. I don't even think you needed a badge. You just needed a business card, probably. And they would all convene upon Austin. Austin would make a lot of decent money, hotels, restaurants, etc. And all of the venues would stack all of their house bands, all of their favorite homies bands, da-da-da-da-da, singer-songwriter, rock and roll, blues, of course. So here's these bastard sons coming out looking like all hell, big hair, no hair, bullet belts and combat boots, wearing panties over their spandex, and these motherfuckers, Dangerous Toys. Who the fuck is this? Okay, we had never heard of South by before. even though we're legit players, I was still in Watchtower.
Mm-hmm.
We're at the back room, but the phone call goes like this. Hey, man, I know you guys just played Friday night, but I need you to play on Sunday evening. We're like, well, fuck you, man. We still hung over from Friday. You want us to play tomorrow night? It's like the next day, right? Yeah, I want you to play come on, man, I really want you to play it. It's like, why would we want to play on a Sunday night at the back room? We're the house band there. What's going on? What's the hitch? And he may have mentioned, it's some label people and that, and we were like, fuck that. We're tired. We're hungover. Da 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 da. He talks us into playing a short set. Sunday night, about 15 people in the club, and it's the last day on a 3-day weekend of this silly music festival called South by Fuck You, right? Whatever. We're bad attitude. We have a terrible attitude, but we're going to do the gig. It's a favor gig, right? Got to do those once in a while. So we go to the club, we do our thing. I think I'm drinking on stage, and a microphone and a beer, right? And we play cover songs. We played like Rock and Roll Crazy Nights by Loudness. Think we did, Jungle and Sex Action, and then we played a handful of originals, Outlaw, Teasin', maybe Woody, early versions of those songs. 40-minute set, whatever. And I'm cursing and unprofessional. Like I said, there's no one there. There's like 15 people there. So anyway, thank you, good night. I'm standing on the side of the stage. I think I'm just like, I might be like fixing my boot or something. I'm not on my cell phone. There's no such thing. But I just walked off the stage, and I'm by myself. And this short in stature but giant in personality lady named Celine Armbeck walks up to me and says, "Hi, I'm Celine Armbeck from SBK Songs from Los Angeles. And I just saw your set, and I would like to talk to you guys about a publishing deal." And basically, like I keep saying, and this is why this is funny, I'm in this band called Watchtower. You can go talk to those guys over there. I dissed her. I was a dick. I was like, just so you know, I'm just kind of moonlighting with these guys, but there's the dudes. You can go talk to them about it right here. Yeah, they're right there. There's no backstage door. They're literally where the truck is. There they are. You can go talk to them. Yeah. She wanted to talk to me. I was like, all right, well, no. Just go talk to them. I'm going home. Sunday. I'm tired. Whatever. They call me the next day. And the band. And they go, dude, that lady was legit. Because we had been being courted by what ended up being our management company. Mm-hmm. At the time, I had a girlfriend. Her name was Julie Hillen, and she had a buddy who was an intern at a management company in Los Angeles, who, little did I know at the time, was managing Keel and Y&T. And had worked with Rat and was a legitimate, like when you think, Los Angeles rock and roll manager, look it up in the phone book, and it's this guy, Tim Heine. His company was called, he managed Cinderella, all that shit. His company was called Tapco Entertainment. I have Old Dangerous Toys road cases that say Tapco Entertainment, Ventura, California, with the fucking phone number on it in my garage right now. Wow. Back to where I was. So that happens. My friend Julie had sent this cassette tape. Ain't no CDs. Ain't no cell phones. You got cassettes and vinyl. That's it. Yeah. Cassettes were new, bro. Right? Okay. So on one side is the Instruments of Random Murder demo. of this cassette. On the other side is a live, Local Licks live from the back room, KLBJ sponsored, live on the radio, that someone, had a radio and put a tape in and recorded us off the fucking radio on a boombox. We're playing like literally live broadcast on the other side. And it had Teasin', and it had Outlaw, and it had some other unreleased songs on there. It might have been I don't think we did any covers, because it was, you know what I mean? We just played like 30 minutes. It was all original, da-da-da. So it's all original material that this intern in Los Angeles at Tapco Entertainment had gotten in the mail. Hey, put this on your boss's desk. It was like, cassette tape on the stack of, mountains of demos that this manager guy gets every day, probably.
Right.
So how that was going is, we get a call. This is prior to South by, I think, but not long. My timeline is a little foggy. But the story about the demo cassette being sent out to an intern in Los Angeles is Tim Heine is a great man and is a great rock manager. Because between him and Celine from the publishing company totally made shit happen fast. And you can see that in the pudding. I'm not even in the band a year, and I'm telling you about a publishing company and a management from Los Angeles that wants to sign a band almost sight unseen. Celine had eyes on us. We had never been in the studio, Dangerous Toys. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's fucking weird, right? So I had been in the band how many months? 5? 6? Kind of weird. I'm still in Watchtower. Okay. This manager guy is in his Corvette on the 101, the Ventura Freeway. His daily routine, driving from, Ventura out to Encino, where I live. I'm a rock and roll manager, and I grabbed 3 or 4 cassettes, shitty rock and roll band cassettes off of my fucking here we go again, bunch of crap that I'm going to listen to just in case. Finding the diamond in the rough, right? Mm-hmm. Puts in a tape. His routine was puts in a tape. First song, eject, out the fucking window. I'm dead fucking serious. Litter, out the fucking window, cassette tape. But one day, he puts in that fucking tape, and Teasin' Pleasin' comes on, and he grabs his giant cell phone that's about this big that has a curly cord that's plugged into the dashboard. He's got a mobile phone in 88. Calls the intern, says, who the fuck is this band Dangerous Toys? What the fuck is going? How come I didn't know about this? Get these guys on the fucking phone right now. So my girl Julie gets a call. And she calls me. And it's like, dude, my guy out in L.A., the main dude heard your song, and what the fuck? And guess what I said? What did he think of the Watchtower shit? Because I have to.
Sure.
That's my shit. So weird times. So I'm like, okay. Celine hears about Tim Heine. Publishing company hears about management company who has heard a live performance of the band. And Celine, a publishing company, has seen the band in Texas play a bunch of cover songs and a couple of original songs and is blown by the live show. He hears Teasin' Pleasin' in his fucking Corvette on the Ventura Freeway and we hooked them up together. So they had never even heard of each other. So she goes home, they call each other, they have lunch, they drop a contract. It arrives in Austin, snail mail. It's not, here, print out this email. You know, it's like chinga fucking, you know, envelope. And we're like, whoa, fucking a contract. The fuck, daunting, right? It's, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
5 pages? I don't know. Seemed like a lot. This was a management contract, basically saying that, and it mentioned SBK songs and the publishing and the production company, da. It may not have even had SBK in it. I thought that it did. It might. I think I have a copy of that fucking contract. Anyway, it was basically think manager right now. Management that says, long story short, that if I don't have you a major recording contract in 90 days from the day you signed this contract is null and void. And we all go home. And there's no harm done.
Right.
But if I do get you a major recording contract within the 90 days, your fucking ass belongs to me. Well, we signed it. Just without mincing words or fucking you guys wasting more you guys fucking time. I know your legs are getting tired. We signed it, and I think the Watchtower guy, I mentioned it in passing to tried to shrug it off to the Watchtower guys, like, let me get this. They were kind of like starting to go,
yeah.
Really, dude? I don't know if they had any fear, but I think it was interesting point to them where, oh shit, wow, that's crazy. Okay. Now, I was trying to be transparent as possible.
Oh, that's great. Great story.
Yeah. And so they did it. They got us so we didn't have to leave. The clicker, the thing here is a band from Austin never had to leave Austin to audition or showcase, as they call it,
right,
for 100 labels. But, oh, come on, man, give us a record. We didn't beg for a record deal. We weren't looking to get signed. We were like having a conversation and stepped out in traffic and got run over by one.
Right. Again, it fell in your lap, like you mentioned earlier. So he got you a deal with Columbia.
In a bigger way.
He got you a deal with Columbia.
Right. After playing shows at the back room over a period of time for, I think, 6, maybe 7 major recording companies.
Oh, okay.
Atlantic came, MCA came, RCA came, Columbia, Epic, which ended up merging and becoming Sony. Like a year later, right? Yeah. But so at least between 5 and 7. And the cool thing is a bunch of punk ass kids who ain't got shit. We were wined and dined by all of them.
Yeah.
Bunch of rednecks eating lobster, as I call it.
I love lobster.
You know, we think that we're shitting gold bricks when we get to eat, Denny's fucking steak and eggs, right? But we're like, order whatever you want, guys. Great show, man. We hope to be working with you guys. It's like, we don't know if we're going to sign with you guys or not. What if you're a dick? I don't know you. I don't owe you any. Who the fuck are you? But you're not asking that, but you're just like, yes, sir. Kind of like, it's a suit. You're hanging out with suits.
Right.
Haircuts.
And why did y'all choose Columbia?
It was kind of like our manager chose Columbia.
Yeah.
It was a 7-album deal, which we only got to do 2 because, the climate change.
Right.
some people would go, oh man, fucking Nirvana and Pearl Jam fucked up our music, man. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. They just turned the fucking lights on. You see all of these bands that got a fucking record deal on the coattails of Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Getting, they're out of Appetite breaking and changing all the rules once again, like Motley Crue did years earlier. It's the same fucking idea. Boom, here's another prodigal son and Guns N' Roses. I don't give a fuck. I'll say it out loud. We got a deal just like all of the other shitty fucking bands that got a record deal because of Guns N' Roses. I have red hair and tattoos and I sing high. Still in Watchtower.
Right.
I'm still in Watchtower when I'm being wined and dined. I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do? But all of these bands, all of these labels, they were looking for the next Axl and the next Guns N' Roses because it was a hit. I mean, when Nickelback was big, a bunch of bands that sounded like fucking Nickelback got a record deal too.
Yep.
Nickelback got a record deal because of Pearl Jam. It's the same fucking trend, okay? And I don't mind saying that. But I have a picture of me hanging out with Slayer wearing suspenders. Everyone thinks I got started wearing suspenders because I saw Axl wearing suspenders. I wore suspenders. I was making a statement. I was a rock and roll guy. I was, So there's a lot of little common. My first name is William. Guess what Axl's first name is?
William.
People thought we were really similar, and I think that may have had this smidgen of dust reason.
Mm-hmm.
I do a pretty good Axl, or I used to be able to. Let's talk about Axl for a second. He's worked with Elton John. He's worked with Queen. He's worked with Don Henley. He's worked with, who am I forgetting?
AC/DC.
Okay, The Pinnacle.
Yeah.
And he kicked a bunch of fucking ass doing it too.
I agree.
That's enough Axl worship. I don't even need to worship Axl for everyone to go, dude, he's the shit, bro.
Yeah, he is the shit.
Now, he had a bad name going for a while. He was kind of shitting in his own vomit for a little while. Yep. But you know what? He must have got help. He must have he figured it the fuck out.
Well, he was in fucking exile for 15 fucking years.
He figured it the fuck out and came back like a Jesus.
Wait till the new one comes out.
The new what? AC/DC?
No, the new Guns N' Roses.
Oh.
It's going to happen.
I'm not really on edge about that.
It's going to happen.
I would have been cool with him making a record with Angus. I would have been cool with that. Because you watch some fucking video of Axl singing fucking Thunderstruck and shit. It's legit.
It is.
It's fucking good.
It is.
Okay, enough of that.
So, you signed the record contract, and then you're no longer in Watchtower.
There is an oh shit phone call that happens between me and management at this point that says, okay, how are we going to do this? I definitely go to Watchtower and I say, well, it fucking happened. And they're like, you want to explain yourself a little bit? And I'm like, yeah. Here's the story. Well, we're feeling a bit gypped. There's some... You kind of owe us money from old recordings and whatever that you've kind of got to skate on just for whatever because it's no big deal and we didn't really care at the time. But now that you're just going to be like, poof, a memory, we want some compensation for no, and they're right. They weren't right. I mean, they weren't wrong by way of energetic tracking the recordings of that, even though this is, a year or two later. If let's say one or two of the guys in Watchtower has a day job that they're making money and they're paying rent and shit like that. It's like, I was sofa surfing, man. I was a fucking gypsy. I a shitty job here and there, but fucking Doug got me a gig at Sonic. He was managing a Sonic drive-in. He got me a gig there. I was flipping burgers. Pantera Pizza. I had disposable jobs, just like every other rock and roll fucking guy. The guy in the Poison video, it might even be Talk Dirty to Me. The guy washing dishes in the beginning of the Poison video, got his hair in a ponytail. He's in the back washing dishes and shit.
Yeah.
That was me. So,
but legally there was nothing binding with Watchtower. It was just hey, you owe us a little bit of cash.
I didn't want to leave. I wanted to leave on as good a terms as I could. Sure. because I'm going to try to not break crack here, but it was really hard. I mean, that was my band.
Yep.
I promoted that band.
Licked a lot of stamps.
Fucking A right. Those guys didn't lick a goddamn stamp till I was a memory. Well, who's going to lick the stamps now?
Exactly.
It ended up being Doug.
But obviously they surely recognize that this was a great opportunity for you. Just like you try to help Doug get the Metallica gig.
Maybe they would in hindsight. Maybe they did in hindsight. And they knew that I was friendly with Alan.
Yeah.
I found them their fucking singer.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was all bad or all good. I think that they got over it. And I can only speak for myself that it was just really hard for me to make that decision. But if I wouldn't have, for the record, if I wouldn't have made that decision, the great things that have happened to me since then and the great projects that I've been able to do and be involved with in my life may not have happened. The course of history,
like we talked about earlier.
A lot of things don't happen unless something else happens.
Right.
So, okay. So the first sort of advance money that the Toys got, there was a chunk peeled off, and it was a few grand. It was not that big of a deal. Trust me, the check was kind of, it was a nice chunk.
But
for 1987, 88,
yeah,
for 88, that was a nice chunk.
Was that the chunk after your management got his cut or before?
That's a good question. We weren't thinking like that. I just remember that after there was a piece of paper, which I still have, a contract that has all of the original Dangerous Toys guys' signature with mine separate, that says we all agree that this amount of monies go to Watchtower for receipts unpaid.
Oh my God! So what you're saying? Just let me reiterate: is that the Dangerous Toys contract?
No.
Oh no.
A different contract.
Oh, okay.
A different contract.
Was that the management contract?
Yeah, you're getting things mixed up.
Okay, so
it was a management contract.
Right.
If y'all don't get you a record deal in 90 days, right, this is null and void. But if I do, I own your ass. That one's done. Got the record deal. We have a manager.
Okay.
I leave Watchtower. I'm like, oh, what the fuck am I going to do? Oh, these guys a few grand. Da da da. Yeah, don't worry about it. The first check we get, we'll just peel it off. Here's some paperwork. Lawyer says y'all need to sign this, so everyone is not like, hey, what the fuck? Where'd this money go? I didn't know about this.
Yeah.
You knew about it. You fucking signed it, right? That Watchtower gets some money. And they did.
So how soon did Columbia,
But it still sucked. It was hard to do.
How soon did Columbia get you guys into the recording studio?
Well, we kept rehearsing. We started writing what would finish out the record. We needed more songs.
Queen of the Nile.
We wrote Queen of the Nile.
Feels Like a Hammer.
We wrote Feels Like a Hammer.
My two favorite songs right there.
Feels Like a Hammer used to be called no. I can't remember what Feels Like a Hammer used to be called, but I know that Here Comes Trouble, which is the very first song I wrote with the band.
Yeah.
Used to be called, the Onyx version with her lyrics used to be called No More. No more. Dun, 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 no more. Mine's better.
So the debut comes out May 1989.
Yeah, we had to pick a producer.
Max Norman.
Max Norman.
Great metal producer.
Crazy Train.
Megadeth.
Oh,
Countdown
dude.
to Extinction.
Fucking
he's
Armored
amazing.
Saint.
He's done it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Max Norman, motherfucking, here, Over the Mountain, bro. Crazy Train.
Yeah.
Max Norman. There you go. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
How fucking cool was that?
Got to hear Randy Rhoads stories every day.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah, pretty rad.
How long did it take you to record the record? Did you write any songs in the studio, or were they already all done? So was it a quick process?
You do pre-production rehearsals when you're going to make a record.
Right.
That's basically where your producer has listened to all of your demos and maybe seen you live, maybe not seen you live, and decides what's cool and what sucks. Right?
Right.
We hire a couple of buddies to put all of our shit in a U-Haul and drive it to L.A. We get on a plane and we fly out there. We stay at this place called the Oakwoods in Burbank, right outside of Hollywood. And we're excited because we get to go to the Cat House and all of the cool bars, Sunset Strip, that are legendary, the whiskey, shit like that.
Yeah.
And I had been out there and rummaged around, but what I saw was a different part of L.A. I saw more like a thrash metal scene with hanging out with Gene and meeting people and where bands rehearsed and shit. And same in San Francisco a little bit, but it was a different side to it this time. So, we land, we get in our apartment, the equipment arrives a couple days later, they unload it into the studio. The guys that drove out there want to party for a few days, so they stay in our apartments with us. I roomed with Scott, and Mike and Mark and Tim Trembley roomed together. And there were some things going on with Tim that came to a head ultimately when a couple days later, when we had all our gear, we're in a studio at SBK Music and we meet Max for the first time. So Max is over there behind the glass and he turns the top. We're all in there, all set up to play live. We're going to record, but it's only a 2-track. Right. So live. It's not multi-track. This is not the record, right? He had never seen us live.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a rehearsal. And Celine is in there, Tim Heine is in there, and this bad motherfucker Max Norman, who we're just like, oh my God, I can't believe that's Max Norman right there. And we had just gone, hi Max, how you doing? Yeah, whatever, cool. I'm going in here. It was early.
Yeah.
It was early.
Yeah.
He's out. We're trying to get work done.
Yeah, we're trying to work here.
He turns on the talkback mic and we all hear, all right, mate, play everything you know. So we just start kicking out jams.
Yeah.
Playing everything we knew. We even played a couple of cover songs. I think we did Love Hurts and Hair of the Dog, which ironically were two songs that Guns N' Roses covered later on.
Oh, cool.
Right? Which is Another, god damn it, you know.
Yeah. Wow.
Classic rock. Anyway, so and I have a cassette tape of this live rehearsal in front of Max
cool.
Norman from SPK. It's not very good. So that didn't matter. He just wanted to hear the songs and make notes and stuff like that. And the interesting thing is I feel terrible about a couple of things, and I can get them off my chest. Again, they're I'll take them to my grave, but on one side, not to go morose, but one side I had Scott on guitar, and one side I had Tim. And I think that was Max sort of panning stuff out so he could tell who's who and who's playing what part, so he could take notes on the song. Totally professional. But I'm hearing Scott, and it's Scott, and we're not great musicians. And, we're okay, I guess. And Scott's, being Scott. But Tim, the side that's Tim, sounds a little bit rough. Nervous, maybe? We're all nervous. We're playing everything way too fast. And it's almost lunch. Fuck. Anyway, so that set off a bad, dark tone with me that I just quit my fucking bro band from high school, my high school where I cut my teeth as a singer, that's world renowned now in the underground as this like, whoa, outer space metal, changing the fucking face of the world in metal.
Right.
Still unsung, I left that, which had sky's the limit, the heaven is the limit, potential, to this like trendy kind of, whatever. Yeah, this is fun. I'm getting to do some cool shit. And then all of a sudden, I'm nervous and I'm tired and I'm scared. And I said something to the other guys. I was like, you guys notice anything? It's kind of some fudging going on over here. We were all probably fudging a little bit. And I didn't have it in for Tim. I didn't have it in for the guy. Got along fucking great. We were going to take over the world together. These were my new bros that I had only really known for 6 months. So I started thinking like that. It was scary. So,
about how fragile the whole situation was.
oh my God, dude. So ultimately, we're sitting in the office with the manager. We'd all listened to the rehearsal tape, and Tim knew about it, and he had been in his apartment working on all the songs, and Mark and Mike would come over to me in Scott's apartment. Yeah, we had to get out of the apartment. What do you mean you had to get out? Well, Tim's practicing the songs, and it doesn't sound good, and we're scared. So we're all scared. And I don't want to talk any bad about Tim, but, Tim said some things that scared us, like, well, I don't have to be on the record. I just want to still be in the band and play live with you guys. His name's on the contract. He wrote the songs with us. Every time I sell a record, Tim makes money. But he didn't do the tour, and he didn't play on the record, and contractually, he wrote the songs. Publishing-wise, he wrote the songs.
That's why Scott played all the guitars on the record.
Very good. Very good. That's why. So Tim exited.
And he was cool with it?
Who, Tim?
Yeah.
Oh, no. He was hurt.
So who told him? I get what was the decision made with the management?
Management, and then I don't remember talking to Tim, and he caught a plane, and it was a dark time. It was the Mustaine deal. We didn't handle it very well.
Yeah. Did he leave after y'all told him?
Yeah. Yeah. And me and Mark we boxed up his stuff for him and shipped it to an address that he gave us. Because he couldn't take it all on a plane.
Did he quit the band at that point or no?
Well, he was exiled. He was ousted.
Oh.
Like he tried to make it work by practicing more and more and more,
Right.
which seemed futile. He said, I've already said it, I'll say it again. He offered to his services to just be in the live band,
Yeah.
but have his picture on the album cover,
Right.
not play in the studio.
Right.
Sticky situation.
Yeah.
Kind of the same with It's a Mustaine. It's a Mustaine, isn't it? I don't want to call it a Mustaine, but it's kind of that, isn't it? It's terrible. It's a Greyhound bus ticket. Hey, dude, your bus leaves in an hour. It was a shitty thing to do, and I regret it, and I don't regret it at the same time. It's just shitty. But when you're young, when you're in your early 20s, you're not a fucking adult. I was not an adult at age 22.
So, obviously, maybe because of that, you're taking heed of what the management is saying. Listen to us.
Management was like, you guys are deciding this. Management is not deciding this. Even Max Norman even said, really? It wasn't that bad.
I can fix it.
Well, you can't really fix that. That's just like a month longer in the studio of showing where he's playing out of time, or his part doesn't really work, or something like that, because there's no Pro Tools. There's no cut and paste.
And Max gets paid by the hour.
Oh, he would have been out there a year. Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Exactly.
Yeah, all right. You ready, Tim? All right. Week number 5. Ready, go.
You know, and I don't think a lot of people know.
That sounds like I'm talking shit about Tim.
No.
I don't. I want Tim to know that I regret it, and it's not a shining moment for me. I'll just speak for myself. And it sucks. And I don't want to go in and go, fuck it, no regrets, rock and roll, man. Where's the Jack Daniels? Fuck that. I'm an old man now. I'm going to take it to my grave. I'm trying to live up to it. I can't apologize for it. I'm just telling you that I feel bad about it. But the motherfucker was badass because he wrote Tease and Please and an Outlaw and helped me pen a lot of those lyrics. So he's legit. His name comes up on the fucking list of some motherfuckers who wrote those songs.
Right. And he still got paid. The public.
He still every time I make a nickel, he makes a nickel. That's right.
Reason!